Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License Lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Throwing jabs, always full send. Here we go again. Jared, Joe, and Jay's Clover Crest. Top three corner man. Punching in with a puncher's chance. We find a way to win. The main event, locked it in. Every Saturday at 10. The overhand is out of hand when it comes to fisticuffs. Slide a hand on the undercard, you'll never see the punch. Uppercut, got you missing weight. Feet are stepping late. Keep your guard up, feeling faint. From a feint, take a stand and eight. Then retaliate. Put up your duke, stick and move. Bob and weave. Don't lose hope against the ropes. There's always an escape. Never stay down. One more round. Bells ringing. Counter punch with your chin tucked and go down swinging. We bringing crosses with no worship, hooks with no verses, combinations with no locks. When you feel the flurry, it's curtains. From scrub scraps to fight stats, relax if you want the facts, cause the best combat podcast is throwing jabs.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Throwing Jabs, Combat Sports Podcast. I'm Big Jason. And the show today, and Jared's MIA, well, we got Riley Pride. They're filling in. Thanks, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate being here, bro. I love the invitation. I love being here. Best way to start my Saturday morning.
Heck yeah. I appreciate those kind words. But let's dive into it. We got a fun light heavyweight matchup tonight, and we're also starting our tournament, March Madness tournament, pound for pound GOAT, with our playing games. But first, we got to recap it. Colby Covington dominates Jorge Masvidal. I mean, good thing Joe isn't here. He might go on some conspiracy on how if you watch the fight without the commentary, Masvidal actually somehow won that. I kid. But yeah, I mean, this is what we expected. I mean, Colby Covington, just too much. Jorge Masvidal, he's a legend, but he's at that cowboy status, man. I mean, he's great. He can be fun, but I mean, he had his push. He got there. He was able to nab at it. But I mean, can he go on a little bit of a run, knocking off some of the younger guys coming up, be a little bit of that gatekeeper and earn himself a big fight like Cerrone did when he got that McGregor fight. So I think that's where Masvidal's at right now. Because I mean, wow. Because Usman and Covington, they're at the top of this division, and I mean, you've seen it 3 fights now against those guys. Masvidal just ain't on that level. He just ain't there. But what do you think?
So I get what you're saying in terms of a title shot. I understand what you're saying. I'm not gonna say he's in the Donald Cerrone category just yet, because let's be fair, he's still a big star. He's still a dude that you would want to fight in a money fight. You know what I mean? He's basically the best. He's sort of kind of in the stratosphere of where Conor was, right? Like when he what I think it was like his 15th sabbatical he took. like when he was gone, but people would still want to fight him. I think that's where Jorge Masvidal is. Like, I think he can still get money fights. Like, I think him and Nate Diaz would be interesting. Him and Conor would be interesting. So in terms of that, I'm not going to go as far as calling him, he's in that Donald Cerrone stratosphere just yet.
There was a point in time, though, the Cerrone was like that. I mean, he got a title fight. Everyone was asking for the McGregor one. I mean, there was a point in time where Cerrone, that's right where Cerrone was. He was up there. I think it's just going to play out the same. Like, I can see the rest of Jorge Masvidal's career right now, and I'll tell you, it's going to be just beating younger guys coming up. When you got the, I just see how it plays out. This is what happens. You're going to be a journeyman. You're going to be a guy. You just can't. There is a ceiling for you. And I'm just saying, Colby Covington and Usman are that ceiling.
I'm just saying right now, it's not fair to call him Donald Cerrone right now. I'm just saying right now. I don't think it's fair to call him that.
I want to clarify. I'm not saying that he is like Cerrone right now, but their careers are very similar. And I mean, this is like right when Cerrone went to welterweight. He fought Dos Anjos, had a couple fights here, ended up losing to Masvidal at lightweight, and now he decided to regroup and then go to welterweight. I think Masvidal has to figure something out, regroup, or I mean, he can just sit, wait. He can probably get some money fights. I think the Conor fight would be big. I mean, both those guys coming off of losses. I'm sure they can make it fun. Conor's fought at 170 before.
Yeah.
But I don't see Masvidal doing anything necessarily spectacular.
So hearing you out, like I said, in terms of a title shot, I'm with you. I don't think. Well, I'll be honest. I don't think the winner of this fight deserves a title shot anytime soon. I never thought. I've said it before. Yeah, I know some people say, "Oh yeah, Colby versus Usman 3 is a fight to make," and I'm like, if you think that, please do me a favor. Whatever you use to watch the fight, please dispose of it because you're not using it properly. I just don't think that Masvidal's career is gonna go down into this tailspin because I don't think Jorge Masvidal is gonna stick around for that. That's kind of where you and I disagree. No,
I never said it was going to go down in a tailspin.
You're comparing it to Donald Cerrone, and to all fairness of the Cowboy, his career is in a tailspin right now. Let's be fair.
I'm not saying right now, Donald, though. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but you're saying you could see his career following that path.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying, I don't think so, because I don't think he stays. So. You hate?
I'm saying I hope you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't go down that path. I was about to say there's some hatred. I like Masvidal.
I just believe that it's gonna go. I don't think he'll hang around that long. You know what I mean? Like it's times where now it's the point where I'm like, yo, Cowboy, look, bro, I love you, you're cool, but go back to your ranch. Don't come back. Not because I hate you. Matter of fact, the opposite. I love you. I don't want you getting hurt anymore. Yeah. I think Jorge Masvidal right now, I think he probably in his mind is like, I want 3 fights. He's going to take the Tyson Fury route. Where Tyson Fury, I think it was last year, he was like, all right, I'm going to tell you guys the rest of my career. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight these. And then I think that's what he's going to do. And then 2 fights in his grand plan, he's going to go, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I think that's how it's going to go because I don't know. Jorge Masvidal is an entertaining dude. He reminds me a lot like Brandon Schaub, where you don't have to fight your whole career. You do have something after. You're an entertaining dude. You're funny. Yeah. People want to talk to you and all that stuff. So I don't know. I personally don't think he'll have to stick. He'll have to fight because let's be honest, he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? No. That's kind of why, and that's another reason why I don't think he'll ever really get another title shot because I think at this point, I don't want to say he doesn't care about it, but I think he has enough mental understanding that, look, I'm on the last leg of my career, and I basically would have to go 4-0 before I can even consider another title shot. Instead of doing that, why don't I just fight 2, maybe 3 more times, cash in on some big money fights, and then walk away with my good health?
No, yeah, I mean that's a good point, and I mean, I know I brought up the Cowboy comparison, but I mean the one key thing why Masvidal won't go down that down spiral that Cowboy's in is because Cowboy was fighting like every 2 months, every 3 months. Like
Yes.
Masvidal has been smart, taking his time. I think the Leon right now, probably the Leon Edwards fight. We still need the 2-piece Minnesota fight, right? We still need that.
I don't know, do we?
I mean, this is the perfect time for it. This is the perfect time for it.
No.
What?
No way. No.
What do you mean? Leon Edwards has been out forever. I mean, he came back and that was a mess. Just do it. I mean, it was already scheduled for late last year.
I was about to say last year was perfect. This year, no. Leon Edwards needs to go take a loss on Kamaru Usman. Then we'll figure out what happens. Because
no, he can't. He can't. Leon Edwards can't get a title shot. He needs to be more active. He's been gone.
I don't want to hear nothing about activity. When Colby Covington took 3 sabbaticals and fought a washed fighter and got a title shot, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, you need to fight the washed fighter.
He did.
Okay. Who?
And Nate.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about Leon Edwards. He needs to fight the washed fighter, and I don't like this. I don't like that I'm saying this, but he needs to fight Masvidal, I think. And I think Masvidal beats him. And then puts all that to rest about Leon
Dana,
Edwards.
you better listen to me, Dana. Uncle Bobby Dana. Do not do Leon Edwards how Jace would do him. Let's be nice, all right? Let's give it to Kamaru Usman. Let's feed Kamaru, right? Because we're gonna make Kamaru Usman look like a all-time great. Let's feed him, right? Let's do that, and then after that, we're gonna say it's controversial, and then we're gonna run it back. Okay? While we're running it back, Jorge Masvidal just go fight Alexander Volkanovski. Go do something. Just get out of the division. Matter of fact, make your own division called catchweight. Go do that. I don't know. I think. Listen, where Leon Edwards is right now and where Jorge Masvidal is right now, no, that makes no sense. That makes
perfect sense.
Why?
That's the fight they're gonna make.
But okay, convince me that's the right
Leon
fight. I need
Edwards
you to convince me.
needs a prove yourself fight. Jorge Masvidal, he can't beat the top 2 guys, so he's put in this gatekeeper status. If you want to get to the top 2 guys, you have to beat Jorge Masvidal.
How? When he's 6th?
What?
Jorge Masvidal is ranked 6th.
I understand that, but
so how is it you got to go through him? Because listen, he already had that washed fighter fight. Mind you, this is the part I can't believe I'm forgetting this. People like me have been screaming that Leon Edwards needs a title shot for about a year and a half now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was with you back then, but now it's been forever since he's got COVID and everything. Like, stuff's before his last fight, before it got DQ'd, did not finish.
Yeah, Beneil against Beneil Muhammad. It was they called that a no contest. Yep.
Yeah, but then he hasn't done anything since.
Dude, he fought Nate Diaz.
Before that.
You talking about before Nate Diaz?
Yeah, when was the Nate Diaz fight?
Into last year.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But, I mean...
And the reason he hasn't fought since was because he's waiting for Kamaru Usman because it was promised to him. It was like Usman was promised to him.
I don't like it, man. Dude, Nate Diaz... okay.
And let's be...
his last fight was against a 155 pounder at welterweight.
Who? RDS?
No, Nate Diaz.
Yeah, that's the fight Nate Diaz won. Listen, no, I'm not gonna go to Leon Edwards and say no, that's horrible. I'm not gonna do that when Nate Diaz has been fluctuating. Sure. That's the equivalent of me saying. That's the equivalent of me saying, "Oh yeah, Dustin Poirier beat Conor at lightweight." Oh, that doesn't matter because Conor was in featherweight. Let's be honest. That's kind of like the same thing.
No, I get it, but I mean, Nate Diaz was never at the top of the division at welterweight ever in his career.
But that's not why this fight.
So how is that fight?
Because that's not what this fight was for. That wasn't for a prove yourself fight. That was what Nate Diaz to Leon Edwards was what Seaver was for Conor McGregor. It's just go fight him. This is just something to do because your next fight you're on a bigger and better things, and we need to make the calendars line up.
All right, then you know what? Yeah, I'm with you. I like Leon Edwards, but if he doesn't fight,
Jorge Masvidal, he's got to fight Covington.
Yes, that's what it's got to be Covington. Because no, but it's going to be Masvidal. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Masvidal, Leon Edwards, and you're going to see the 2-piece in a soda clip like 750 times on that build up to that fight.
100%.
And yeah, I mean, I would love to see him fight Covington because I think Colby dispatches him and gets him out of there, and then Leon Edwards.
I think Leon Edwards wins.
I don't know.
I really do.
I don't know, man. That would be a fun fight. That'd be interesting, but I don't think we're gonna get it.
I mean, my thing is, I think Leon Edwards, if he doesn't get Kamaru, I just think he was gonna get the winner of this fight. That's how I looked at it. Like if he doesn't get, if he doesn't go get Kamaru Usman, which I believe he will, why? Like, this guy has been in line for a title shot for about a year and a half. The UFC has wanted to give him a title shot, but then it's always been something. I just don't see a situation where in the welterweight division, Usman has cleared it out. You know what I mean? Like, him and Edwards haven't fought in a while. It's been a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So it's like he cleans out the division. Now, okay, let's do him and Leon Edwards. It almost seems like that has to be it. And again, if you don't want to do Leon Edwards, if Uncle Dana loves Colby Covington that much, then I guess do Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards, and then we can go from there. But I cannot see Jorge Masvidal, who just lost his fight, fighting a contender, a top contender in Leon Edwards. That makes no sense to me. It doesn't make the only way it'll make sense is if Leon Edwards says, "Screw welterweight, I want to fight you for the BMF title or something like that." Then okay, sure, I get it. But Leon Edwards ain't that business, bro. Who cares about the BMF title?
Wait, no, I mean Usman's the lineal BMF champ, right? He beat Masvidal.
Right. Yeah, because he beat him. So he's a double champ. He's a double champ.
He is. But I mean, another name I think we should mention before we move on, Khamzat Chimaev. I think throw Masvidal to him, let him eat him up. That's a nice resume booster for him. Because I
don't know, is it though? Because Nate Diaz would have been a nice resume booster for Leon Edwards, and you said he was washed.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? So for Khamzat, it's like if you give him, you know what I mean? If you give him Masvidal, I mean, I wouldn't give him Masvidal. I wouldn't. I kind of wanted to see him go against Gilbert Burns, but I think Gilbert Burns is fighting. I think it's next weekend or the weekend after.
Yes.
Yeah, so he already has his hands tied. So, I mean, again, if you want to give Khamzat or Chimaev a title shot after Leon, and you just want to throw him Jorge Masvidal to just give him something to do, I'm cool with it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You know what I mean? Or if Leon Edwards is gonna fight for the title, let's get Chimaev and let's put him against Colby Covington. And let's see, you know what I mean? It's let's see is Colby Covington just, a mid fighter that everyone hopes is great? Or is it just he's on a little bit of a skid and that's why he's losing? Just because of the fact that he's fighting Kamaru, you know what I mean? Yeah. For Chimaev, is this kid really legit, or are we reaching bad in a division that, let's be honest, hasn't been the same ever since Kamaru has been wiping everybody out left, right, and center? I think we'll get the answers to those questions if those two fight, because we'll be able to see Colby Covington. Are you just average, or are you just losing to the best? And that's why people are starting to make this assumption. And Chimaev, are you really this good, or are we just trying to find something desperately in a division that desperately needs more talent? You know what I mean? Or fresh faces, you know what I mean? So I think we get the question answered with those two.
I like that fight, but I can see Dana protecting George Chimaev from that fight.
Think so?
Because I think if you want to put him against like a real wrestler like that, might as well just save it for the title shot with Usman. Get a pay-per-view out of it, you know. I think I could see.
Go ahead.
That's just how I see the business side of Dana working. That's how I just see that playing out. Same like I see Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards. I mean, I don't want to see it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Nah, it almost seems like you want to see it. It's almost as if you're like, please, 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 please. You know what? I'm not gonna call you crazy because last time I called you crazy, I said Cyril Gane was gonna be President Ngannou. I was calling you crazy, and Ngannou somehow went the distance. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you called that he was gonna win in the go into the distance. I think you even called that too. So
I had knockout.
So I'm not even gonna call you crazy. I don't know. All I know is if Leon Edwards fights Jorge Masvidal, it better be on UFC Fight Night.
Yes, 100%. Or it's got to be like to start the main card of like the most stacked card of the year.
Yeah, like Gaethje and Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'm with you there.
Yeah. So it should be fun, but yeah, I'm excited. The welterweight, I mean, it's Usman at the top, but I mean, there still is a lot to play out on these guys who have already lost to the champ. So, should be interesting. Should be very, very interesting. But all right, it's March. It's March Madness tournament time. All the conference tournaments are going on. Selection Sundays tomorrow for the NCAA tournament. So, and I mean, we talked about it last week. I've been talking about it a while now. We have the all-time pound-for-pound GOAT tournament, which we will kick off with our playing games right after this message from one of our sponsors.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Boom. Oh, it's tough to see. But there is the bracket, the tournament. On the boxing side, the winner of today will face number 1 seed Sugar Ray Robinson. Should be interesting. And the winner of today on the MMA side will face number 1 pound for pound George St. Pierre, number 1 seed. So should be interesting. Pride, I'm gonna let you pick. What do you want to start with, boxing or MMA?
Let's do boxing. Why not?
All right. Boom. Now, Canelo Alvarez versus Alexander Usyk for the playing game. I made all the playing guys present guys because, I mean, you still got a legacy to cement, you know? So
right.
We're talking pound for pound. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this when we did the little test episode a couple months, like a month, 2 ago. But and I'm gonna be honest with you, Pride. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel bad about that because looking back at it, we we did not carry on Alexander Usyk. We had Terrence Bud Crawford beating him, which was rough. I mean, but look at what this guy's done from cruiserweight. I mean, even amateurs at light heavy, all the way to heavyweight, and I mean, but now he's going up against Canelo Alvarez, one of the pound for pound guys. I mean, he's doing things all up and down the
Never
weight
been done
class.
before.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he is. I mean, the big thing is he's got that Mayweather picking and choosing fights, especially late in his career. But I mean, he's done all the great stuff already, so why not? But who is a bigger all-time pound for pound go?
It's a
Canelo
shame.
Alvarez or Alexander Usyk?
I'm sorry. Look, I respect Alexander Usyk. By the way, shout out to him, my guy. He went to Ukraine to handle his business.
Yeah.
I put it in the group chat. I'm like, half these fighters doing that. As like, meanwhile, I'll be peeing my pants and like trying to evacuate. So shout out to them. Them some real men right there. That's some real men. But geez, he's gonna be 0-for-2 for me. I picked him. I picked against him. You know, I picked Bud. I have to pick Canelo. Look, when you're doing things that's never been done before, because we're talking about legacy. If you're talking about things you've never done, that's never been done before, period, that boosts your legacy up, like regardless. What Canelo is doing, like, is just imagine this. Imagine a guy who can literally. This is the best way I can describe it. BJ Penn of boxing.
Okay.
This dude is literally going everywhere, and anywhere he wants. Eventually, he's gonna. Canelo Alvarez is the only boxer I know who'll be able to cut down to 50 pounds and still fight and win. Not 150, 50, 5-0, and he'll still win. Like Canelo Alvarez, and I understand what people are saying that he's picking and choosing, but again, he's still picking relatively good talent to make history. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, for instance, like Caleb Plant, bro. Like, he made him quit effortlessly, might I add. Did the usual thing where he just, just chills, does his thing, and then dominates. And then he was the undisputed king of 168, which, Jace, correct me if I'm wrong, has never been done before, ever. This is the first time it's ever happened. And imagine for him to do that so effortlessly. And again, no disrespect to Usyk, no disrespect whatsoever. This dude will go down in history as, let's be honest, one of the most underlooked talents ever in boxing. I don't think he will ever probably get his fair shake, and I don't think it's just because of his talent. I just think, unfortunately, you're fighting in a world where even though you beat him, you have the Anthony Joshuas, the Tyson Furies, the Deontay Wilders, the Bud Crawfords, Canelo Alvarez, Lomachenko, Triple G. You have so many big names, talented names, that unfortunately, some of them are going to get whisked off to the wayside. And unfortunately, I think Usyk is going to be one of those. And again, this is all from the boxing side. I'm going to look at it from the casual point of view. Let's pretend I'm a casual, Jace. I don't know who Alexander is. I call him Alexander. Like, if I'm a casual, that's what I call him. You know what I mean? So on every aspect, you have Canelo Alvarez, who, without a shadow of a doubt, is not only putting out, doing whatever he wants to do, having all types of success, but then he also appeases to the casual fan. So in every however way you look at this square, whether it's 2D, 3D, 4D, smell D, no D, don't matter. I gotta go Canelo over Usyk.
Yeah, I mean, I threw Usyk in here for Jared because I think you're talking but if you're talking current wise, I think Usyk definitely beats Canelo. I mean, as far as pound for pound, we're talking all time. I mean, at this point right now in boxing, I would say Usyk. But at this point, but when we're talking about careers, Usyk's great. A lot of his success came in amateur. I mean, he got good success now, but I still think there's still a lot more of his career he has to make to necessarily be on that that level that Alvarez is at. I mean, Alvarez, while he's getting all this criticism for who he's fighting, he's earned the right to get to that point. He's done what he had to do. Now he's just belt chasing, and he's picking and choosing what belt he wants, and he's earned that right because he's been so great. Everyone was calling for the Triple G fight. He went there, he did it. Sure, give him another one, but why have another one when you can just keep getting belts, you know? So I think, yeah, this tournament we're talking about all time. I think all time Canelo. I do think by the end of Usyk's career, he'll be in that conversation. But right now, he's on the edge. He's on the edge. But I think he can be more cemented. But he has to cement it himself with the rest of his career. So yeah, Canelo Alvarez is moving on to take on Sugar Ray Robinson. We'll get to that.
I feel like we just set one of these dudes up to just get like destroyed by Sugar Ray Robinson. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
We're basically arguing about who's gonna be the martyr.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Yeah, I mean, all these are good. I mean, it'd be cool if Canelo went a little bit longer, but probably not. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Joe just watched a bunch of Sugar Ray Robinson fights without commentary and Canelo fights without commentary. Comes in next week. Boo. I don't know. But all right. Okay, let's go. MMA side of things now. Switching gears. Kamaru Usman versus Israel Adesanya. The winner of this will take on George St. Pierre. And I think next week we'll be talking about the two goats of welterweight going at it, and George St. Pierre and Kamaru Usman. Because I got Usman winning this. I mean, Adesanya, if he had gotten the light heavyweight belt, I think it'd be pretty evident. But I mean, while Israel Adesanya is the best striker in MMA right now, and you could possibly even argue, I mean, he's up there with Silva for all time. But I mean, it's great. But I mean, you talk about a complete game that Usman has. I mean, just takedown defense, deciding where the fight takes place at all times. He can take you down whenever he wants. He can just pressure you. He can work his jab. Just anything he wants to do, he can do against the highest level of competition. And I mean, we've seen Israel Adesanya. We've seen him go up, attempt that. I mean, he was too big. And I mean, but I mean, pound for pound, sometimes doesn't regard size, you know. So I mean, Usman's just been perfect. I mean, he had since his loss. I mean, he's just been perfect and the most dominant fighter on the planet. So yeah, I got to go Usman ahead of Adesanya. I mean, maybe if we're talking like all combat sports, I mean, Adesanya did have a great kickboxing career, but I mean, I think right now, yeah, just Usman's dominance is on another level right now.
For me, I'm gonna go Usman. I told you this earlier, and you looked at me a little weird. And Jared he heard me out a little bit. I don't think we ever will see Kamaru Usman's true prime, because somehow he just gets better every fight, and it's so bizarre. It's so weird how a guy who's a champion can still just continuously get better. In a fight, I'm taking Kamaru Usman. Cooking, I'm taking Kamaru Usman. Walking, Kamaru Usman. Stretching, Kamaru Usman. Sleeping, Kamaru Usman. Breathing, living, dying, whatever. Life, I'm taking Kamaru Usman. And Jared, what's up,
Hey.
man? I hear him 100%. But I'm going Kamaru. Again, and I agree with you, Jace. If Israel Adesanya had went up and beat Blachowicz, then this really isn't a conversation. You know what I mean? Because now he's got two belts, and he probably was going to defend them both. I think he probably would have had maybe 2 defenses with the light heavyweight title. And if he does that, then this isn't a conversation. However, he didn't think he needed to gain weight. And then Jan Blachowicz was like, I'm bigger than you. Why don't I wrestle? Which for some reason he didn't. He waited to do it till like late in the second round, which is like, listen. My son was like, he could barely hold his head up, and even he was screaming like wrestle. Like, so it's kind of like you're bigger than him. What are you doing? So, but I'm gonna have to go Usman. And dare I say, I think Usman has a great chance of upsetting GSP, but I'm not going to start that conversation.
Maybe. Well, that's for next week. But Jared, I mean, you missed us talking about your boy Usyk. He sadly lost to Canelo.
I think that's why he's looking at us like, did you y'all better pick Usyk.
Dude, no, see, listen. I will defend myself, like I said before. Usyk, we're talking current right now. I think Usyk takes. We're talking about boxing right now. I think Usyk's better pound for pound than Canelo. But if we're talking all time, I think looking at the resume that Canelo's built, that's why I give him the edge in this. But I mean, Usyk. I think Usyk still has to necessarily cement his legacy, especially here at heavyweight right now.
With Usyk and Beterbiev. Either one of them beats Canelo right now, but as far as their resume and their body of work, in a situation like this, yeah, you kind of have to take Canelo, unfortunately, because I've said those guys would beat Canelo since they all started fighting. There's never been a day where I thought Canelo would beat either one of those guys, and I still don't think he can beat either one of those guys. But yeah, it's a body of work thing. It's the argument you make for Loma. When people say he doesn't belong in this conversation, the body of work is outrageous. It's
undeniable.
Everybody else, yeah. You don't win 500 amateur fights and lose once and beat that guy 6 times. Like, what? It's just some ridiculous stats. And yeah, when you're having conversations like this, you need those numbers and statistics and notable wins to back it up. And until one of those guys beats Canelo and puts that on their resume, I kind of have to agree with you, Jace, unfortunately.
I thought he was going to come in here, yell at us, and say, all right, listen here, you bleeps. This is why Alexander deserves to be over him.
I don't know if it's food poisoning or what, but you sick.
Like, I was just waiting. As soon as I saw it, I was like, all right, Jace, let's just go to our corner. Let's think happy thoughts.
Neutral corner.
All right, okay. All right, it's good to know we're on the same page with Canelo then.
And I'm agreeing with you guys here. The way that Adesanya lost is everything Usman is best at.
Yeah.
100%.
Only lost that what the guy did is the specialty of Usman. So you have to take Usman here.
And honestly,
great fight, but I'm taking it too.
And I honestly, I'm very curious if Israel Adesanya, if he put on some bulk, would have that made a difference? Because like the speed he was going, I think he would have lost some speed, but I don't think the speed loss would have been that great.
It's Roy Jones moving to heavyweight.
Is that what?
It's like Roy Jones moving to heavyweight.
Exactly, where it's like you're losing some, but that speed is still something that they've never seen before. So even though you're not at your fastest, you're still fast enough where it'll still throw them off guard. That's kind of been my biggest knock on Israel Adesanya. Like, if you had just put on like 15 pounds, just that 15 would have made a world of difference to the point when I don't think you get taken down as much as you did. I really don't think so. I think Blachowicz would have knows that and try to stay on the feet, because on the feet he was getting pieced up. He was falling for the most generic feints in the world. Like Adesanya just shrugged one time and Blachowicz was like, "Oh my God, where's the cage?" Like, he was nervous, But Usman goated.
Yeah, it would. It sucks that these guys are friends, because I think this would be a very, very interesting fight to actually play up in the cage. Because it would be interesting to see Usman move up. I mean, is he moved up and tried something? Can Usman get it? I think with his wrestling, I think he could be able to. But I mean, that's probably not going to happen. But
yeah, they're like best friends. So he said it's not going to happen. He said if he moves up, he's going to go straight to light heavyweight. But God bless him. God bless him if he chooses to do that. You might as well cut weight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I mean, for next week we got Sugar Ray Robinson against Canelo Alvarez and George St. Pierre against Kamaru Usman. The pound for not just for the tournament, but I mean that is the pound for pound best welterweight matchup there. 100%. Who is the welterweight GOAT? That should be a fun one next week. But all right. I like this already. And then next week also, like the tournament's going to get going too. Like we'll be in the full swing of things, and then it'll be It
will no longer be March. It'll be March Madness 20. Yeah. We'll call it March Madness 28th, 2020.
Yeah. But all right, now let's talk about some fights. Tonight's fight, big light heavyweight matchup between. Big light heavyweight matchup between Thiago Santos and Magomed Ankalaev. But Joe, while he can't be here with us today, he'll still break it down for us.
UFC Fight Night 203 is live at the Apex in Las Vegas on Saturday night, featuring a light heavyweight bout in the main event between Magomed Ankalaev and Thiago Santos. Let's break it down. Magomed Ankalaev is 29 years old. He's 6'3" with a 75-inch reach and a record of 16-1 with 9 knockouts. From Dagestan, Russia, he began training in Greco-Roman wrestling while attending Dagestan State University, eventually transitioning to Sambo, where he went on to become both the Russian and world champion. After his successful amateur career, he made his professional debut in January of 2014 with a majority decision. He quickly went 6-0 before defeating Maxim Grisham by a 4th-round knockout to claim the WFCA light heavyweight title. He made 2 defenses before making his UFC debut in March of 2018, losing to Paul Craig via 3rd-round triangle choke. He bounced back 6 months later with a 1st-round head kick knockout of Marcin Pricino, and followed that up the next year with a unanimous decision over Clydesdon Abreu in a 3rd-round front kick knockout of Dolce Lungambula. On February 29th, 2020, he took on Jan Cutelaba, landing 3 successive head kicks, causing the referee to stop the fight. The result was deemed controversial, as Cutelaba was not actually out on his feet, so the two met 8 months later, with Ankalaev dropping him with a brutal right hook in the 1st round and finishing him with a vicious ground and pound. After grounding out a hard-fought decision over Nikita Krylov, he put on an absolute striking clinic over the highly regarded Volkan Ozdemir, opening a nasty cut over his eye and dominating him en route to a unanimous decision in the most significant victory of his career. An incredibly efficient, hard-hitting counter-striker, Ankalaev lands at a 55% accuracy rate while boasting a 62% strike defense. He also possesses world-class wrestling skills and an impressive 85% takedown defense. Thiago Santos is 38 years old. He's 6'2" with a 76-inch reach and a record of 22-9 with 15 knockouts. From Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Santos was born into extreme poverty, taking up capoeira and Muay Thai to defend himself as he lived in the most dangerous section of the city. After serving as a paratrooper in the Brazilian army, he made his MMA debut on October 10th, 2010, with a unanimous decision. He quickly went 8-1 with 6 stoppages, including a 1st-round knockout of Vicente Luque, before making his UFC debut with a loss to Cesar Ferreira via 1st-round guillotine choke. After losing by decision to Uriah Hall, he went on a 5-fight winning streak with brutal knockouts over Steve Bosa and Nate Marquardt before dropping 2 in a row in a 1st-round knockout loss to Gegard Mousasi and a 1st-round submission to Eric Spicely. He bounced back 5 months later with vicious knockouts over top contenders Gerald Mearshart, Jack Hermanson, and Anthony Smith. After suffering a 1st-round knockout to David Branch, he went on another 4-fight tear with a decision over Kevin Holland, followed by a TKO over Eric Anders and a savage left hook knockout of Jimmy Manoa. On February 23rd, 2019, he headlined his first event, engaging in a highly tactical and exciting fight with Jan Blachowicz before catching the future champion with a left hook as he rushed in and finishing him off with ground and pound. In July of 2019, he got his first shot at the title, taking on future Hall of Famer John Jones in an exciting back-and-forth slugfest, and despite losing by split decision, he became the first fighter to win a judge's scorecard against Jones. Following the fight, he underwent double knee surgery as he sustained and tore an ACL, PCL, meniscus, as well as having a fractured tibia. After recovering from a bout of COVID-19, he took on #1 contender Glover Teixeira in another exciting brawl, and despite almost finishing Teixeira a couple of times, he ultimately lost via third-round rear naked choke, and 6 months later his losing streak continued when he dropped the unanimous decision to Alexander Rakic. On October 2nd, 2021, he ended his 3-fight skid with a tentative and lackluster decision over Johnny Walker. A well-rounded and technically proficient striker, Santos has an exceptionally high ring IQ and possesses explosive power in his kicks and punches. Will Ankalaev's slick counter-punching and elite-level wrestling skills bring him victory as he continues his ascent up the rankings? Or will Moreta's power and experience against the division's best bring him one step closer to a rematch with Teixeira for light heavyweight gold? Tune in to UFC Fight Night Santos versus Ankalaev, and let's find out.
All right. We got a true, real crossroads fight here. I mean, a guy that was at the top, now just playing gatekeeper against the young up-and-comer in Ankalaev. Jared, how do you see this playing out?
Thiago Santos. Oh, Thiago Santos. No, he's going to lose. Give me Ankalaev. Ankalaev by submission.
Oh, that was brutal.
Oh, you didn't have to do him that dirty. Jeez. But
You really think submission, though?
Oh, yeah, maybe a heel hook. He might break his Ankalaev.
oh, damn. But you don't think Santos could land something early?
I see him getting smothered. I see that the game plan's got to be not to let him do that. That's his only path to victory. So if you're going to stand and bang with the guy, you're stupid. You know, my man Pride's kid's going to be going, wrestle. Yeah, just smother this dude. Santos loses with submission. Or just gets mauled for 3 rounds like he's like Khabib's bear.
Look, I'm gonna go Magomed. I genuinely feel like this is gonna be his coming out party. I think this is the win that he needs to solidify himself in the lightweight division. Or I'm sorry, light heavyweight division. Why I say lightweight? I like Thiago Santos. I really do. I think, I was rooting for him to beat John Jones. And I honestly thought, he had a great chance. If he doesn't, destroy his knee and nearly amputate himself, I think he could have, I believe he could have won. But he's in a situation now where one more loss, and what are you fighting for?
Yeah.
That's where he's at right now. Does he have enough in the tank? Like, that's really the question. Does he have enough in the tank to continue on to have another, 3-fight win streak? So that way he can go and try to, rematch Glover if he's still the champion. Like, there's a lot of uncertainties that, let's be honest, when your future's that uncertain, if you think a fighter doesn't think about that, you're an idiot. Like, there's pressure on Thiago Santos right now because he understands, dude, if I lose this, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like, I could just, I could fight, sure, but in terms of a title shot, I have nothing. So
This is man.
What happened?
Santos's resume is a who's who of great fighters. Uriah
Oh,
Hall.
Oh my no! Listen, you don't realize. Yeah, you don't
Mershant,
realize just how many phenomenal fighters he's actually fought. If you actually
Anthony
break
Smith
down his
beat
resume,
Kevin Holland, but we figured out that wasn't as hard afterward.
right?
Blachowicz
So
is on here. Manawa.
yeah,
Lost 3 of his last 4, though. John Jones, Glover Teixeira, and Rakic. And then beat Johnny Walker. Johnny the Sleep Walker.
yeah. Which nobody. I was disappointed in that because he fought very. He was more aggressive when he had no knees against John Jones than he was against Johnny Walker. It was so bizarre.
If you're suffering from insomnia, go back and watch Santos's fight with Johnny Walker.
100%. 100. You don't got to go to the doctor. Nothing. I co-sign it.
But they ended up putting me to sleep.
Yeah, them watching Ganu Lewis if that doesn't work. That'll
And then Dada 2000 and
versus Kimbo Slice. Oh my god! No, honestly, no. Don't watch that one because you'll actually stay up. Because I watched the whole thing. It was so interesting. Like,
sad.
It really was. It was like,
You can't fight like that against Ankalaev. The way that Santos has fought these last few fights, you can't fight like that and win.
You cannot. You
Because
cannot.
Johnny Walker's standing there and fainting and pretending he's going to do stuff. That's not what Ankalaev's going to do.
No.
He's going to be on.
Yeah.
And
I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if Ankalaev even throws a feint. I'll be 100%. I'll be honest with you. I'll be surprised if he even throws one.
Line on this. Do you guys know the line?
Right now.
But I will say, Santos, the best outcome I think that can come from this fight is the same. For Santos, at least, it's the same as the Glover Teixeira fight. You got him wobbled in the beginning, but eventually he takes you down, submits it. I never believe that's going to happen.
Real quick, Jared, Ankalaev is a minus 550 favorite.
Yep.
And Thiago is a plus 400 underdog. These type of numbers are like, I would say, oh my god, but these numbers are like, I am immune to these numbers because after seeing like Amanda Nunes like being in the thousands, like this to me is like
or any boxing line ever.
Yeah, but like if you just look at these odds, it's wild how Santos is a plus 400, but that just goes to show you like what he does best, unfortunately, is where Magomed kind of thrives. Like he wants you to, kind of be like that's what if you fight half, like 50% of what you fought against Johnny Walker, you're losing in 2 easily. Easily. And it just shows you, bro. Magomed, I'm telling you right now, he wins this. Me and Magomed, we're going with Sizzler.
This is about how much punishment Santos can sustain.
Yep.
That's really how it is. About how much he can get punished before he goes away.
But 100%. And
But I don't like that 700. There's a boxer that it's 700 on my bet online. There's a boxer, Sandy Ryan. She's a minus 800. Really like her to win. She's fighting Ferris. Good fighter. But you can't take those numbers. You gotta parlay 4 or 5 of those together if you're gonna. Yeah. But I don't like it. I don't like those numbers at all. Ankalaev I like Ankalaev to win.
100%.
Yeah.
But if 700 wins 100, that's sketchy.
Yeah,
the numbers make me want to bet on Santos. But
don't. Dude, I put I'm probably gonna put Ankalaev on one of my parlays just as because this is a pretty interesting fight. You got Miles Morales on it, the card. You got Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres, Khalil Roundtree. I mean, despite being knocked out by Johnny Walker, he's been pretty good. It's interesting for a fight night. I think it's interesting. So maybe put together a nice parlay. That work.
Start with Ryan and Ankalaev.
Yeah. But I mean, speaking of parlay, speaking of betting, speaking of making us money, Jared, you're puncher's chance.
This is one of the livest dogs I've seen. I really, really like this at plus 500. Normally, when I give you an underdog, it's a round robin. There's 5 of them. I'm expected to hit 2 or 3. We did that and broke even 2 weeks ago. This is different. This, I think you can bet all on its own. I round robin it with some college basketball upsets. This is a good fight. He's fighting an undefeated fighter who never fought anybody, and Miguel Vasquez is tested and good enough. He's good enough to win this fight. I really, really honestly believe that. Losses are Louis Ristone, Davies, Josh Taylor knocked him out. Took him 9 rounds. So Mickey Bay beat him by split decision. Vasquez locked Bay. He's fighting a kid named Gary Cully, 13-0. And the best fighter he ever fought is Craig Woodruff, who he beat 77-75 and went down in the 5th round. He got knocked down. Woodruff is a 3.3, according to BoxRec. So Cully's best win is a 3.3. This kid lost to Josh Taylor is an 80. He beat a 3, he beat a 5, he beat a 21, he beat a 17. He is much 44-10. But this Vasquez kid is the better, more experienced, more durable fighter. Cully might go in there and wind him up. I mean, let's be honest, it's a plus 500. But it's the plus 500 that I've liked the best this year for boxing. This is the upset I have the most confidence in at plus 500, and it's hard to be confident in a plus 500. I really like Vasquez here.
Yeah, all right.
Jace, if Jared told me to jump off a bridge, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, when it comes to boxing.
So my white whale of gambling, while we're still on the puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Do you have a way to put that picture up, Jace? My white whale is a green week. I want a whole week where I win plus money every day of the week. Right? So you got green numbers and red numbers as it goes along the week. I want to get all 7 of those green and make the whole week wins at least $1 on each day, a green week. So I've got 5 days this week. I did Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, last 2 left. About to have my first green week if I can get through 2 more days. And no college basketball on Sunday is going to make it tough. But that's
NBA or something.
That's what I've done so far this week. Is 5 green days.
Oh, we won't let me pull up the picture.
Fight for you.
Oh, damn. All right. Yeah. Good luck. Hopefully you didn't jinx it. Knock on wood. But yeah. All right. Yeah, that's I guess gonna do it for the fights. Pride, thanks for joining us. Make sure you check out the Prideful Take podcast. I mean, you're on like almost every day now, right? Like you're going live all the time.
Yeah, my podcast is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6, and then I help one of my other boys. He has his thing, so I'll be helping him with the morning show and stuff. So it's just the life of a loser, a stay-at-home loser.
Yeah, but I mean, thanks for joining us, Pride.
Always an honor, always a pleasure.
Yeah, make sure you go check him out. Follow him at Prideful Takes and check out his podcast. I mean, where he talks everything. We talk about basketball before the show. That stuff. Football, Deshaun Watson. We're talking about that too. So make sure you go check it out. And also check out clovercrestmedia.com for a bunch of great other sports podcasts as well. Got John about the G-Men, Posting Up podcast, Keys to the City, all those great shows. So make sure you check that out as well. Big shout out to Chris Sawyer and Andy Mack Mortgage and JPEX Financial for sponsoring today's episode. And we're going to end the show like we always do. And Jared, hit us with that flurry, brother.
Whew. So, a little off guard here. did have something, and now I'm completely drawing a blank. Oh, homelessness. So the question was, should everyone have a home? Do you believe that no one should be homeless? And the vast majority of people have said, yes, if we had a way to do it, everyone should have a home. And I don't think that's true. I know people that are homeless, and I am as envious of them as I am pity. You know, I feel as much envy as I do pity. They have a freedom. There was a NCAA basketball player named Sky. She was supposed to go to the WNBA. She had some troubles with drugs, ended up homeless. Yada, yada, there became a point in her life when she just liked that better. And now, obviously, homelessness is an extreme example, but there are plenty of things in our life that maybe work for one person, don't work for another. Tea, no good for me. Tea doesn't work for me, but I'm not gonna impose my negative tea experiences onto your life. If there is something you wanna do with yourself, coffee, boxing, whatever it is. I talk a lot about relationships and how when you're in a relationship, you get to define the boundaries with your partner. There are no set of rules. A lot of people like to say, oh, you weren't supposed to do that, and that was wrong, and that was good to, but that's your own perspective on how life is supposed to be. So anyways, the point is, teach their own. As I said, a friend of mine is homeless, and if I have feelings toward him, they are not pity, they are envy. Every day is an adventure for him, and he's got nothing that ties him down to one spot. And I love that. And it reminds me of relationships and drug use and all of these different things that I have my ideal. But I have to keep understanding religion's a big one. I have to keep understanding that everybody's ideal is going to be different, and mine is only my own. So when you say no one should be homeless, it's not necessarily true. There are people that would absolutely prefer that. You're going to give me a car and a payment. You're going to give me a house and a place I have to go back to. You're going to chain me down to something I don't want. Do what works for you. And don't impose your view of the world onto other people when you can help it. Thanks, guys.
Throwing jabs, always full send. Here we go again. Jared, Joe, and Jay's Clover Crest, top three corner man, punching in with a puncher's chance. We find a way to win. The main event, locked it in every Saturday at 10. The overhand is out of hand when it comes to fisticuffs. Slide a hand on the undercard, you'll never see the punch. Uppercut, got you missing weight, feet are stepping late. Keep your guard up, feeling faint from a feint. Take a stand and eight, then retaliate. Put up your duke, stick and move, bob and weave. Don't lose hope against the ropes, there's always an escape. Never stay down. One more round, bells ringing, counter punch with your chin tucked and go down swinging. We bring in crosses with no worship, hooks with no verses, combinations with no locks. When you feel the flurry, it's curtains. From scrub scraps to fight stats, relax if you want the facts, cause the best combat podcast is throwing jabs.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Man. And great true crime shows like Sticky Meek, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Burn, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting Clover